Okay, so now that you know how to edit your objects, let's take a look at how to apply basic materials as well as basic textures to your object. So here I am in a new document. I'm just going to hide the light and the camera icon by turning them off over here in my outliner, just so that we are able to focus on our object here. Now with the object selected, come over into our properties panel here and scroll all the way down to this circular icon here. Now if you hover over it, you'll see it says material properties. So just left click on that, and as we can see here, Blender already applied a default material. So that's what we're seeing here. Now to see the effects of the material on our object, we'll have to be in either the viewport shading view or the render view. So either one of these options, that's where you need to be. And I'm going to select the viewport shading because if I select the render view, I'll have to add lights for you to see the object. So for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to switch over to the viewport shading here. Now here we're seeing the white being displayed on the object. Now how do we change this material? So where it says base color here, just left click on this color and you'll be presented with the color wheel. And to change the color, just left click on any color that you want. Alternatively, you could left click and drag over the color or the colors to change them, like so. Now this vertical bar here allows you to change the lightness or the darkness of the material. So let's leave this at a blue. To add additional materials, press this plus sign right here, then click on new. To change the color again, you just go here and change it to whatever color you want. Now to rename your colors, call this purple, and I'm going to click on this one and call it blue, like so. So I have blue and purple. And also there's a drop down here, so you could just click on this and you are able to switch between the two colors. Now there's another way to apply a material, and that's inside edit mode. So if we go to edit mode, let me go here, click edit mode. If we go to edit mode, we're able to apply our colors here as well. So just select the color that you want. But in this case, once you select the color, you'll have to click on assign to assign the material onto your object here. So we'll click on blue and assign. All right, so that's the difference between the object mode and the edit mode in terms of applying your colors. Now, the cool thing about this is in edit mode, this is where you can add multiple colors to one object. Let's say we wanted to apply a different color to each of these faces. Now to do that, we'll need to select our area first. So I'm just going to switch here to the faced select mode, select my face here, and I'm going to make this one purple. So I'm going to click on the purple and click on assign to assign that color right there. And this one is already blue, so I'm going to leave that blue. And I'm going to select this color right here, press the plus sign, click on new, and I'm going to click on assign to assign this color to it, and I'm going to leave that as white. So let's call this white, and then I'm going to click on this one, left click on my plus sign here, click on new, and maybe I'm going to call this one green, change this color to green, and remember to click on assign to assign that color onto that face. I'm going to click on this one, click on my plus sign here, new, and let's say red, rename that to red, assign, and let's change this one as well. Click on that, new, I'm going to call this one black, change this all the way to black like so, assign. So now we have all the different faces having different colors. Let's take a look at how to apply a basic texture to our object. Now the very first thing that you need to know is when you're applying a texture, you first need to make sure that a material is applied. So with our object selected here, I'm just going to go to the material properties here, and we can see that there's already a material applied. So just make sure that a material is applied to your object. To apply our texture, we'll be going to the UV editing workspace. So if we look at the top here, we can see it, just left click on that, and we're now switched over to that workspace. So what exactly are we seeing here? Well, to the left of our screen here is the UV map, right? So this is the UVs for our object that we're seeing here. Now, this is the object in its unwrapped state. So it's as if you're unfolding the object and making it into a flat surface And you're doing that in order to project your texture, your flat texture, onto your UVs, which would be shown on your object, right? But just know that this is the same cube over here. It's just the UVs of the cube in its unwrapped state so that you can apply the texture. By default, this is what Blender gives us, but I would recommend resetting these UVs and creating your very own. So make sure that your cursor is over inside of this window here where your object is, and then press the U key to open up the UV mapping menu. And now we can see a bunch of different ways to unwrap our object. But typically, I tend to use the very first two, which is either unwrap or smart UV project. Okay. Now what I need to do here, or what we need to do here, is first to reset. So I'm going to reset so that we can see that that is cleared out. And I'm going to come back over here, press U, and I'm just going to click on unwrap. And now we have our UVs that we unwrapped ourselves. Okay. It doesn't look as fancy as the one that we saw before, but you can actually manipulate the way that your UVs are presented, but that's for another tutorial. Okay, I'm gonna keep this very simple. So with our UVs unwrapped, we need to get our image onto our UVs. So come over into your material properties here, and next to the base color you can see that there's a yellow circle. Just left click on that and click on image texture, and then you'll be presented with two options, new and open. In our case, I already have an image saved out, so I'm just going to click on open. I'm going to search for that image on my computer, left click on it and click on open image, and we can see that the image is now on our UVs or underneath our UVs. So in order to see the effects of this on our object, well, you need to be in the render view or the viewport shading view. So as you can see, because my screen is, we don't have much real estate here, just use your middle mouse wheel and scroll it down to bring up the other options over here, right? So that you are able to see the viewport shading and the render view. So click on viewport shading, and here we are able to see the results of our texture being applied onto the object. Now, if you don't have the luxury of the middle mouse wheel to scroll over here, just simply switch over to another workspace such as the layout workspace so that you're able to see the entire space here, and then you can just click on the viewport shading. And that's pretty much the simplest way to apply a texture. And it does get more complicated, all right, but we're keeping it simple for this tutorial. That's pretty much it for this one, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.